I am Tomas, and I am 35 years old, and I was born in Argentina, in Buenos Aires. And then I decided to move to the US about 7 to 8 years ago. And recently now I'm living mainly in New York City. But also I'm traveling the world teaching. So common that the connection is so connected that there is no even intention of connection. It's just a unity and very effortless and very in sync and with the hearts being active. Um, Remember quietness, calm, peaceful, and emotions.
Y no sé qué será de ti, me parece escuchar
I'm not
tan cerca de mí.
traditional, I'm currently becoming what else. I think I respect the tradition completely, and I study tradition, and even try to go over their concepts, not just the things that I see and I watch videos. So I have videos of old people dancing, or when I go and Buenos Aires and I see old people dancing or whatever. I try to understand more or less what they're trying to do. I try to explore even those elements and try to understand what is to be traditionalist because it's very complicated to understand what is traditional because I think sometimes we don't know exactly what is traditional because the tradition is what most people do, but maybe there's misinformation on what most people do. Maybe if we want to dance like someone would be like in the 40s, a typical dancer, maybe it was great for that time and it's perfect for that time, but now we're in a different time. So the way to dance it should be according to the they believe, always respecting the way it's been danced before, always studying what the first steps, how everything evolved. But nowadays I take that elements and I try to put elements that I have of nowadays, like I integrate with that. So that's why it's like it's traditional, but has still things are happening nowadays. I think in the 40s probably there was like no yoga, there was no in Argentina, there was no so much about martial arts. Like it was different. So now we have a lot of much more information on other things that I think it changed tango. Uh, it changed the form because people are different. So if they're different, of course the form will change. And I think change is part of keeping it alive and
Sepultado
growing.
en la oscuridad de mis ojos sin luz que no te han de ver.
When I have students, my main goal is to make that person empower that person, to make that person learn and see themselves and try to change things from themselves to become better. So I talk a lot about connection because nowadays I see like it's repetitive. It's not normal that someone go and has like pays attention completely to the other. Sometimes we're stressed about what we need to do, and the other stress is to do it right. The pressure that we're putting on ourselves to do it right. So I think for me it's very important that when we learn and try to teach students separately and understand what they are needing to become better. Not dancing is always the dancing the person is like the same thing. You dance the way you are. You cannot dance very differently from the way you are. So sometimes other people is like maybe it's connection, maybe it's giving, maybe it's concentrate, focus, maybe it's selfish, maybe it's, like, it could be many different things. Sometimes it could be analytical, someone is like really lazy, someone that doesn't want to work on. I think each part of time is super important. Connection begin first, because you're dancing for another, you're doing a couples dance, so you dance for another person, you're dancing with another person. So you have responsibility when you're dancing with another person. So that means if I have stress, I cannot pass my stress to that person because then I'm doing something that the person will finish dancing and will feel bad or worse than before. So I want to dance with someone and give positive energy, and then they feel better after dancing. No? So I try to give that, but there are things that, of course, the technique needs to help the connection, and the technique needs to integrate more to towards that connection. But sorry, it's like it's hard because everyone is different. So I think everybody needs different things.
Ha podido sus penas contar mi corazón.
The change that I see, the change that I see mainly is that maybe I got the last era of what it was called. I don't like to call much about this or styles, but it was called like that or all that. So that was the last era of that, and where people were dancing a little bit more in open embrace, and maybe they were playing. It was more normal to listen to alternative music. But then the tango lately changed, and now the form is a little bit more. I don't want to again. This is the terms that people understand, but it's like it should not be called like that. More traditionalist. So got a much more close embrace and more social. So there was a very good thing with that. I think the change, I always try to see the change as positive. And it was a good change, it was necessary. It was considered that the other change was very important as well. So it's a change over a change. And I think we need to understand that both were like important and essential for how we're dancing right now. And in that change, maybe people now dance a little more, much more alike, or they're like there's not much personality sometimes in the dance because also YouTube is doing a big thing. People are watching the same videos over and over, and people then copy. They tend to like what they see, and they try to copy that. Right? Maybe before it was not so much as now. Um, so it changed in that regard, become a little more traditionalist, maybe less experimental than it was before, maybe more more precise in the technique. So has some good points as well.
Más allá, puede ser que me aleje de ti la eternidad.
Sure. So I wake up on Tuesday after a long rehearsal or practicing tango until 2 in the morning, 3 in the morning. And then I go to bed around 3, 4. And as soon as I wake up, probably will have not sure if I will have breakfast or I'll go directly to the piano to play a little bit, writing songs that I'm writing for a story and for other purposes. And then after having a meal and going around and working on my music in my schedule of the week, sometimes I take, for example, last week I was doing a Reiki class, and from then I went to Wing Chun class, and from the Wing Chun class I taught my group class. So I like to not to teach that day. I like just to keep it clean so my energy is very focused because it's a group class, it's big. So I need to have my energy very clean and so I can help as much as I can. I play piano. Lately, it's the one I'm playing the most, but I play guitar and bass and drums. Drums was my first instrument, or piano. Piano really was my first, but drums is the one I studied the most. And I sing and I produce and I write music and yeah, I learned a little bit the guitar, just very brief. So yeah, I'm always curious about different instruments. Right now, I am working on finishing my music. I have many songs that I've been writing for the last years. So I have more or less like 300-400 songs that I need to finish. So I'm working that with a music engineer and a dear friend. And also I'm writing a movie and something that I thought is going to be like a short film, or but it's taking. And it was first it was like a video clip, but then it's growing. So now I don't know where it's going. But I'm writing a second story, and also I'm writing a video clip music videotape.